And we hello, folks. Fabulous to see you here. Lovely to have you present at our IMEX America trade show, How to Win More Leads at IMEX. And I want to quickly introduce to you Kelly. Kelly is our team member from IMEX, and she wasn't able to join us last year because she was having a baby, but she's back. Yay!
Hi, everyone.
So lovely to have you here. Okay, so Kelly, if you can try and mute people as they're coming in, that would be great. Let me see. Co-host, you should be able to do that. Okay. Okay. So we leave it at gallery view. Okay, mighty folks. So I'd love to know if you're a first time attendee at IMEX America, just to kind of get a feel for whoever is in the room, and maybe it's some other trade show that you're here to learn some tips and tricks from. If so, that you are most welcome. And I guarantee you that you're going to get some value from that. So if you can just click yes or no there. I'm going to close my window to ensure there's no background noise. Okay, so we have less first timers so far. Interesting. Okay, so that means we have a lot of expertise on the call. So I would really love if everybody feels that they can contribute what's important to them about IMEX, what they've learned about IMEX also, because there's expertise in the room. And I'm sure between all of us, we'll be able to share some really fantastic tips. So yeah, definitely we have more people who have attended it before. So that's fabulous. That's good to hear. It's kind of a 60-70 split there. Okay. So my name is Ciara Feely, and it's a pleasure. I've been doing this for, I don't know, maybe about 7 years or so with IMEX, and I attended IMEX and I realized that there's a lot that goes on at IMEX, and that I could easily put together an education on how to get the most from it, how to, number one, prepare for it, how to perform on the day, and then of course the all-important follow-up that you do afterwards are three of the areas that are going to ensure your success at this show, and at any show, any trade show, or maybe it's even a sales blitz that you're setting up. So there's definitely going to be a lot of tips that will work across a number of your different sales activities. Okay. So I have a few quick slides to share, so we'll dive in. But again, at any stage, just ask me a question. Type it in the chat room, okay? So we're going to cover how to attract the right buyers to your booth. That was the overwhelming question that people had for me. I'm going to share some tips on how to get the right buyers to your booth in terms of attracting them in the right place with the profile. Okay, the profile is really is key, and I'll share a case study of how Karin, she got everyone to show up to her appointment. So you might get great appointments, but you want people to show up. And then they showed up really excited, feeling already that they knew her. Okay, she got more appointments than her colleagues that were on the stand that had been coming for years. This was her first time to go to IMEX, and what a fabulous ROI. She generated 500,000 in confirmed business, and she was from a really small, almost unknown convention and visitors bureau in the north of Italy. Okay, and of course, delivery on the day. You know, how are you performing? Tips for getting the most out of your time when you are there. Okay, so I had loads of questions. I had about 40 different questions, but a lot of them are summarized in, you know, how do you outreach to prospects prospects and link them back to booking an appointment, how you're getting more of the right quality appointments, okay, if you've never had contact with them before, okay? And Maro here, like, she changed her profile based on some work that we did together, and she had double the appointments that year than she did the previous year. So what I'm sharing with you, I promise, is practical. Everything that I share is practical. It works. It's real life stuff. It's not theory. Okay. So quick backdrop of who is there, who are on the hosted buyers list, right? So 3,379 so far from 65 countries, predominantly US, North America. You can see Mexico, Brazil, and UK. So 56% being agency, 20% corporate, and the association and the independent planner mix there, with, you know, between 1 and 5 million purchasing power, and that goes up and up and up. Okay. So there's a lot of business to be won. But what I'd love for you to do is to ask me questions, stay involved. I've designed it to be interactive. So the most interactive person there asking great questions, I'm going to send you a copy of my book. Okay. So the really big area that I want to focus on is, how do you build trust? How do you build trust and confidence with potential buyers, with agencies, with people that you want to do business with from a distance, right? Because you have to earn the right to get a little bit closer to them. You have to earn the right to have a conversation. And so what is the groundwork that you need to do to build trust and confidence so they'll say yes to you, to meeting you at a trade show or in any scenario, a sales call request, have a Zoom call, whatever that might be. And this is a picture of my dad and myself. And, you know, like, I still remember he's just throwing me up in the air. And he caught me, of course, every time. And we nearly need to build those levels of trust and confidence with meeting and event planners, because they're putting their reputation on the line, and they're placing the brand of their organization over the brand of your company. Now, as you know, brands take years to build, but cost, you know, hundreds of thousands, a few million, some of your clients, right? And reputations take years to build, and a wrong choice of destination, of vendor, of hotel, of agency can do a lot of damage, right? And they'll never verbalize that to you, but it is there. And so to overcome that, we need to build these levels of trust and confidence. So where am I coming from in all of this? Well, I have spent about 10 years working in the US market, initially working with IHG. Then I opened the Omni San Francisco Hotel 2 months after 9/11. So I understand what it is to work in a tough marketplace. When I moved back to Ireland, I founded findaconferencevenue.com, which Cvent didn't exist at the time, and it was kind of a mini version of Cvent focusing on Ireland. But through that, I could see how hotels and vendors and suppliers were selling to me, and I could see the mistakes that I made when I was in hotel in hotel sales. And so I really wanted to do something about that. So that prompted me to write a book. And so the steps to win came out of me, but that gave me immense clarity in terms of how the buyer buys. And so everything that I share with you is the experience that the client needs in order to want to do business with you. Okay. So what are your expectations, right? In terms of from the show, what is it that you need to get in terms of from, maybe it's not IMEX, from any event, you know, the number of leads, let's say, or the number of meaningful connections. So if you can type that in the chat box there, I'd be really interested in this. So what are your expectations from attending IMEX? If it's not IMEX, put it in for another show, because it's important that you have some kind of guide or some kind of goal as to what you want to get. So number of leads and number of meaningful connections. Okay. If you can type that in the chat box there, that'd be great. Okay, so what are we seeing there? 30 connections, 50 leads, number of connections unlimited. Okay. Obtaining new leads, connections, 30 to 40 demos between two of us, 20 leads. Okay, cool. Beat our lead count from last year, 61. That was great lead count, Regina. Wow. Paula, 20 leads, new connections. Ideally in ROI, 2/3 strong leads and a number of new connections. 20 leads, 20 leads. Okay, so there's a lot of high expectations there, and I just want to make sure that everybody is realistic. Regina, how many times have you been to IMEX with a lead count of 61? And maybe was that spread across a few people? You might maybe elaborate on that. But those, it's very important to have your goals. It's very important to have your expectations. But I want to make sure that, in particular for first timers, that it's not unrealistic. I had a first timer expect from IMEX Frankfurt there to get 70 leads, and that would be really hard to achieve, I would imagine, right? And what you really want to go for is quality and the connections, and people that you want to have another conversation with. Okay, to me, a very important ROI, a very important indicator of success would be how many second meetings you get, that you are interesting enough that they say, do you know what? We need to have another conversation. Let's set up some more time. Okay. That to me is a very important goal for you to set yourself. But it means that, number one, you need to attract more of the right kind of buyers. Number two, you need to perform and be interesting enough in that 20-minute or 30-minute conversation, whatever it is that you have, in order for them to say, yes, I'm going to have another meeting with you. And you can look at it a little bit like dating almost, that you want to get to that second date, right? And you want to be interesting enough that that people want to have a second date with you. Okay, so on that analogy of dating, we're going to do swipe left and swipe right. Okay, so swipe right means yes, you're interested, you want to meet this person. Okay, swiping left is not your pass. You haven't got through any of the filters, or if you were a buyer, that you're not going to meet with them. Okay, so I'm going to share some profiles and some wording, and you tell me if you would like to have a meeting with this person. Is everybody good with that? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, because the very first area that you really need to get right, and this is number one of my steps to win, is how do you stand out and how do you sound different, and how are you interesting enough that they will say, that they'll pause, because everybody's just scanning, that they'll pause and go, you know what, that is interesting. I'm going to give them my time. Okay. And when I was putting together the steps to win and writing my book, and when I was a venue finder, I spent so much time on websites and looking at different marketing and who's appealing, who will I go give my time to in terms of for a site inspection. And I realized there's like a dictionary of words out there that I feel are overused in this industry, that's not helping you to stand out. So exceeding expectations, third largest group in the USA, right? Leading DMC or a one-stop shop, memorable experience, ideal venue, convenient or great location, right? And if you're using these, number one, you're not standing out, but with that convenient or great location, I feel you're selling yourself short, because what an event planner wants to know is, what's great about that location for them, for their event? Is it going to help them to get more people to their event? If so, then great. That's a great location. But if we're only just saying great location, we're selling ourselves short. Okay. So if everybody's using this kind of verbiage and phrases, then, commoditization has happened in our industry. And when somebody sees you as a commodity, the price or the conversation quickly becomes about price. So, what we want to do is elevate yourself to that partner status so that you're entering the conversation seen as a partner rather than a supplier, because it's a race to the bottom when you're seen as that supplier. Okay. So a guide for your communication, any communication with clients, is what do you want them walking away feeling, thinking, doing, and saying, right? What do you want people feeling, thinking, doing, and saying as a result of something that you wrote for your profile, as a result of an email or request for an appointment that you sent, as a result of something that you said when you were there in person with them. Okay, so it's a great guideline for general communication, right? So Amir here had shared with me that she'd been attending IMEX for 6 years. However, always had difficulties trying to come up with the right content and structure for the appointment emails that she sent out to buyers. I was wondering if you could give me advice on what buyers are looking for content-wise and what possibly could help us stand out from the crowd. Okay. So I asked Amir, send me what it is that you are sending to through the system in order to request an appointment, right? This is where I want you to swipe left or swipe right, okay? Swiping right means yes, you're going to give them time for an appointment, okay? So first off, first impression, would you swipe left, swipe right? Because people make up their mind fairly quickly, right? Left or right, what's your impression? Oh, getting a lot of lefts. Left, 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 left. Okay, tell me why. Why left? Okay, so unanimous left. Tough bunch, huh? Nobody's too much, April. Yeah, absolutely. Marina, too much text, right? Too crowded. You nearly feel overwhelmed. And also my impression would be, God, if this is what they're writing in an email to me, I'm going to have to sit and listen to them talking at me for the whole meeting, right? That's what it says to me also. So you definitely want to avoid that, because people glance at stuff and they're scanning. So you need to write something that is in scannable format, okay? So Colette here, Colette, it's much shorter, right? Shorter and sweeter, but tell me, is it a left or is it a right for you? I need to open my door. Are we seeing left or right there mainly, Kelly?
We've got left again.
Good bit of left. Okay.
I think people read for a little bit longer. The lefts took longer to come through. So we paused a bit longer on this one.
Good. Excellent. So it's not as overwhelming, right? The best part of this for me is we love helping our clients get record high survey scores on their programs. That to me is very strong. It's a brilliant first sentence. Even in your profile, that would be good, because it immediately is telling me how you're going to help me. It's a result that most event planners want to get, right? The rest of it, like Colette works at an agency, and yeah, you're telling me where in Canada, but that's not important enough right now. I'll look for that if I'm interested enough to give you an appointment. But come meet with me to discuss venue sourcing, offsite events, transportation, tours, blah, 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 blah. everybody knows that that's what agencies do, right? So I wouldn't, this is like real estate. It's like prime real estate property here. And so I wouldn't take up my real estate when telling me all that kind of stuff that's fairly obvious. Okay, so focus in on what's really important to the client, or else show a bit of personality. Show them, oh, this is going to be a great person to meet with. We're going to have a bit of a laugh, whatever that might be. Okay. So I'll share you a good example of that in a few minutes, right? So Kelly here, yeah, Kelly from Terramar wanted me to review the profile. So you tell me here, left or right, based on just that first paragraph that that you were reading. And what is great, Kelly, is that you have exhibiting on the stand of San Diego Tourism Authority. That's missing from a lot of profiles. So I love that you have that in there when you don't have your own stand. So that I think is very important. IMEX, you know, how many exhibition stands will there be, Kelly? There's like a massive amount. It's a big show. And when you
Yeah.
walk in there, it can be a little bit like overwhelming, and it could take you a day to walk the length of it sometimes, right? Because you keep
Yeah.
meeting people. Sorry, what did you say, Kelly? How many?
I think there's around about 300 to 400 booths, but exhibiting companies, because a lot of the bigger booths have got many partners on them,
Yeah.
are around about 3,000 to 4,000 exhibiting companies. We are still getting registrations coming in, so
Yeah.
a high number.
It's a high number. So the easier you can make it for people to find where you are and for them to map out who else they need to be speaking to around you, the more efficient it is making it for the different buyers, right? Because you don't want them to be going, you know, one end of the show to the next. So the easier they can figure out where you are, the better it is. Okay. So again here, Kelly, I feel what would make your about section, your profile stronger is if you focus on the results that you're delivering for your clients. What is in it? Why should they meet with you? Because I'm not interested. I think it's not something to put right up front that you formally were Arrangements Unlimited, and that you do all these different things. Like people understand what it is that that agencies do. I would love maybe to put in testimonial here, right? Because they believe what other event organizers say. They believe them more than you. So our clients tell us that we help them to achieve X, X, and X, or that working with us is we add value because we do X, whatever that might be. I think that's the important point. You have those like maybe 4 or 5 sentences in order to grab their attention. You have a video in there, which is great. I think there was a second video which was the same, so put up a different video. And Kelly, I'll refer to you on this, but in terms of for photography, with the new layout of the website, what are the opportunities there for people on this first page?
So you can put photos in the about section now. It doesn't look the best, in my opinion, when somebody goes to a profile preview, when they're going to see you. Those images just don't come up quite right. It kind of makes that what we've just said. It's a snapshot that you want to get across, whereas the video just, or putting any imagery in there, tends to elongate it. What you do have now is a separate videos section and sort of any content section on the left-hand side as you're editing your profile. You can go there, you can embed videos, and you can upload PDFs, photos. It looks a lot nicer when it comes to the exhibitor directory to put them into that area, as opposed to making that about section even longer.
Okay, so I'm sharing the site here now. So whereabouts would that be?
Shall I share so that I can log in live and
Perfect.
demonstrate that one for you? Let me.
Is this interesting to you folks? Am I doing okay? You're learning? Yeah. Dalila, if you have a question, yeah, we'll take it. I love your yellow. Gorgeous.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Greetings from Los Cabos, Mexico. Something that I have facing challenging in all my participations in IMEX. I've been participate for a long time ago, but for now I am representing another company. Is that in the there is not a catalog that fits with my company. There is the car production, is gifting, but because we are not a DMC, we are not gifting, we are not AV, we are the car production, and there is not a line that I can fit my company in the.
Yeah, because you have a lot of different services. To be honest with you, I'll get Kelly to follow up separately with you on that, okay? There's a lot more in terms of a profile that that I want to get to today, but great question. Will you put it in the chat box there so that we know to come back to it, Dalila? Kelly probably can't answer that right now. So do you want to share your screen, Kelly, real quick?
Let me share. Apologies. I'm also a Teams user, so it takes me a moment longer in here. Can everybody see that okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I've just used Jamaica as an example because I know that they've put quite a bit in here around imaging. So on their main page, they've just got their company logo. They've got their about. You can add your website in here, any social links that you want to add in. And at the bottom is the products and categories. On the left-hand side here, where you've got your profile checklist, this is where you've now got a video and content section. Oh, yeah. So if you click into there, you can embed videos from YouTube, or you can upload if they're not on YouTube, and you can put additional ones into the right. And then if you flick over, so that's on video, and then you've got marketing content there as well. So you can drag and drop files in there. So if you do have any PDFs or anything that you want to share, you can drag and drop those into there. Yeah.
So that's a great point, because in the About Me, instead of having it a really big, long About section, I would say attached, refer to in the media files, refer to X, brochure or download on whatever. Because initially focus your attention on what's in it for them. How do you really help your clients in terms of results that you help them to achieve, and grab their attention with that so that they will want to dig around another little bit. Okay. Cool. We'll move on. So Kelly, and we'll come back to some more profile.
Do you just want me to very quickly show this products, because it is just another area you can put some video content in. So this products again is new. I know Jamaica have already added one. They've got Montego Bay Convention Centre. That's not somebody who's able to attend the show with them, but they've wanted to specifically mention they have that, so everybody knows that is an option. So if you've got a particular product that you do want to call out, you can put that in there. You can assign its own categories. You can give it its own description. And you can put, again, the media files at the bottom. So it's another really nice sort of additional place that you can put a bit more information, rather than feeling like you have to get everything in onto that front page of your profile. You would go into products if you want to really talk sort of the nitty-gritty of something in particular you offer.
Okay, great. Cool. Yeah, thanks. You can stop share there. So the point is, folks, to use, it's all real estate space. So to use and maximize it as much as possible, to give the client that flexibility they want to do. It's their time to do a little bit of research on you to see if you are worthwhile, that they're going to give you their time. Okay. So so has that been helpful to you, to Kelly? This is a new section with the About Me. I think it's great. They want to get to know you a little bit. So a clear photograph like that is fab. Again, Kelly, I would put in there more of what the client says is great about working with you, how as a person it is to work with you. It's very important to mention the whole dog thing. People will be attracted to that, but I would focus more so on about working with you rather than where you've worked and that kind of stuff. What it is your clients say about the value of working with Kelly. Kelly is okay. So Charlotte, you wanted me to, and again, Kelly, let me know if that was helpful to you. Charlotte, you wanted me to review here. So, Certain is an enterprise event management platform that helps data-driven marketing professionals drive greater revenue from events by delivering truly engaging and highly personalized attendee experience at scale. Now that, I honestly had to read it a few times when I first got it, and it's a very long sentence. So when I'm talking about putting in sentences that are scannable, people want to scan, you want the important information to pop out. So write short sentences. So put in a full stop, a period, an awful lot more than the commas, right? And bullet points. Bullet points, I think, are very important in the about section. Again, it's about drawing me in quickly so that they want to read more and scroll down because you have a lot of information there. And then I went to your website because I honestly didn't 100% get this straight away. I went to your website and straight away it says that you create events that drive greater business value while forging deeper connections and cultivating more engagement. So tell me, folks, would you swipe right or left on that? That to me, it says it in a nutshell. It's a lot more clear. I'm like, okay, I get what you do. And I can decide to investigate more if I want to know more. Some of your visuals in there weren't very clear. I was kind of squinting they were too busy. They were too busy for the space that they were in. So maybe they would work better in that product section that Kelly was speaking about. And ensure to, before Monday, right, Kelly, because everything goes live on Monday, ensure to put in your photograph and tell us a little bit about yourself before then, okay? And Dalila, you have in here exhibiting on the Los Cabos Tourism Board. That's brilliant. It's making it easy. And again, this information here about when you were founded, put that way down the bottom. It's not of interest to me. I know that you have helped clients achieve amazing results. Tell me that first, and then I will want to know that you use unique decor, fabric, staging, lighting, audio visuals, all of that kind of stuff. But tell me first, captivate me first with what it is that how better off they're going to be after they've done business with you. Okay. And all of this is helping you to build trust. All of this is helping you to build community. And that's key in our client interactions right now. That's future-proofing you when the client feel like they're part of a community of people who really get them, right? So we're building connection here from a distance. Now, Stephanie first exhibited in 2019 at IMEX, and I still share the story because it's a great one, right? She came all the way from Australia, and this is what she wrote to people in order to get an appointment. So you tell me, left or right? What are we getting there, Kelly? I'm not reading them. Are we getting rights or lefts?
We've got 2 rights. We've got some more rights coming in now.
Cool. So what I loved is it shows some personality. It's explaining a little bit about the Australian language and the difference, the difference in them. So good day, mate, good morning or hello, arvo, afternoon. So, it's just a bit lighthearted. Immediately I say, okay, she gets me in terms of like, I'd like to sit with her. I'd like to learn more about Australia. I think she'd be nice to work with. She sees the differences, all of that kind of stuff. I loved it. I immediately wanted to meet with her. And when I met her at the show, I walked up to her stand and at 1 o'clock, right halfway through the first day, and she had 5 leads already. And that was her first time ever to exhibit at IMEX, right? 5 leads in her first morning. So this worked for her, right? But it's not really about how you want to sell. It's about how the planner wants to buy. And I thought this was a good one from Nashville, actually, because again, it showed a bit of the personality of it. Connected professionals at Nashville. You won't be singing solo as you plan your Music City meeting. We're here from you from the initial rehearsal to the final performance. So the whole way through is a bit of a play on what Nashville is known for. And I think hard rock are actually very good at doing that. But look, folks, again, you know, I said, put in there what your clients are saying about you. So Valerie here is a client of mine. Valerie was able to quickly understand the objectives and priorities and make positive quality contributions to the design, configuration, and testing process. The project had a large impact on the business thanks to her reactivity and creativity. Okay, so this is believable because it's written by, you know, by a client, and so don't be afraid to put that in there. Okay, clients, they don't really care about your business, they care about their problems, and how are you going to make life easier for them? How are you going to take away their pains? Okay, so based on that, I'm going to give you a few minutes, folks. I want you to reflect on your profile and what are you going to change about your profile or your marketing emails. Okay, what are you going to change about your profile or your marketing emails? Okay, so when I say marketing emails, that is what you're sending out to get them to say yes to an appointment with you. Okay. So Frederick, you're wondering, should a hotel mention the number of hotel rooms and the size of Congress Hall? Yeah, further down, I would say, yeah, you want to give them, again, make it obvious. Don't have it hidden in a big paragraph, bullet point, the space. Okay, so Kelly, very helpful, cool.
Frederick, just as well on your question on the hotel rooms, you do have the products and categories at the bottom where you can choose sort of room type. So I think, yeah, definitely bullet point or rely on that products and categories where you can say how many rooms you've got.
Okay, cool. So it's good to see Stephanie there for our friend from Australia. Got it right. And she did. She got a lot of appointments. Okay, cool. Okay, so what am I reading? Are you writing in there what you're going to change about your profile, folks? So you're going to shorten the text, use bullet points, and make the About Me section less formal. Yeah, okay. Always show personality and keep it short and sweet. Yeah, it's got to be scannable. People love scannable format. Okay. Okay. Cool. So Dee here, I spotted Dee on LinkedIn, and she doesn't work in this industry. She works in the software industry, and I just loved this, right? So she was trying to be creative while prospecting, and LinkedIn gave me the perfect opportunity with Matthias. He posted how he's taken part in the Garmin Pink Challenge for Breast Cancer Awareness month of October. So I love sport and a good cause, and that's close to my heart, and I needed to see a cause, close to my heart was all I needed to see. I said to Matthias, if I do 100K, send the proof. Will you take a meeting with me to discuss BlackBerry glands, right? Now, Matthias was an ideal client for her, so she knew who she wanted to meet. And Matthias said yes. So I followed up with Dee. I wished her good luck with her meeting. And I asked her afterwards, how did it go? As it turned out, Matthias and herself were going to be at the same conference in 2 weeks' time. So she got an in-person meeting with him, right? So even better, fabulous opportunity. So I asked her, how did it go? And she texted me back through LinkedIn. It went great. I got to go through all of my pitch deck, right? And honestly, my heart sank, right? Because that is not a good sign, let's say, of how a conversation went with a client, right? Matthias might have been polite and nodded and said yes, yes, yes. But really what that should be about is, are you able to have a strategic conversation with a client? Are you able to focus the conversation in on them and practice your listening skills? So it's really being able to lead the conversation so that you can get them to open up and tell you what is important to them. So to me, you know, my hopes were dashed for Dee. Her opportunity was lost, and I know she still hasn't got business from Matthias since. Okay, so so how you perform, this is part of how you perform at at trade shows, at IMEX. And that's where step 2 is in killer questions and being able to lead strategic conversations. And that's where these value creation conversation skills are so important, right? And I'm speaking with Kim Myers, and he is an event designer. And a number of years ago, he used to head up MCI, but previous to that, he was working at George P. Johnson, and he worked on the Cisco account. And anytime he was in the Cisco office, he had an elevator pitch made up in order to be able to speak right to the heart of John Chambers. So John Chambers was the then CEO of Cisco, right? And if he met John Chambers in the elevator and John Chambers said to him, "What do you do for Cisco?" Kim would make sure to never say that he worked in events, right? And why would that be, do you think? He never said that he worked in events because events can be seen as an expense, right? And something that can be cut. So what I mean by these value creation conversation skills is that Kim would say something like this instead: "I create new business opportunities for Cisco. I find an upsell opportunities by building strong customer communities," right? "I support the partner network by creating opportunities to meet Cisco customers." These are all top line objectives. These are all objectives that would be discussed at board level, at executive level. And so this was an important outcome for Cisco events. So he spoke at that partnership level instead of at the supplier level. Okay, very important that you or your team are able to do that. And as I say, stop having these dates, rates, and space conversation, because everybody is having these. You know, what are your dates? What's your budget? What's the space requirements, right? And I hear an awful lot of those conversations happening at IMEX, but really you want to be able to get to the strategy behind the event and what's really, really important to that client. And so I share a conversation frame, and this is a technique that really helps you or your team to lead that conversation. So, you know, how do you open and take the lead? Step 2 is how do you define the gaps, where they are now, where they want to be. Step 3 is you giving solutions and sharing how you can help them. And step 4 is always knowing your next steps. So this is a skill that I feel is really, really important to have and to practice in the environment of trade shows, of IMEX. Even though you have 30 minutes, it's so important that you can lead that conversation and walk away knowing a lot more and being able to have that secured, that second conversation. So Kelly, you might put this link in the box if you want to find out more about that and how I can help you to do that. That is the link right there. Okay, folks. So it's number 1, how do you stand out and sound different? So this is an online course that I'll be doing in at the end of September. And the second one is these killer questions to lead a client conversation and to be interesting enough so that they say, you know what, we need another hour, you know, meet me for a drink afterwards, or let's follow up next week and have a Teams or a Zoom call. Okay. And number 3, proposals that win, because hopefully you're going to be walking away with lots of opportunities to send proposals, and we want to make sure that they are winning proposals. So that's coming the end of September and early October online course, right? And Lilo said, like, you know, she said the client was really grateful that she asked such questions. And he said, nobody asked questions from him. They just show me PowerPoint presentations, right? And I see an awful lot of that at IMEX Frankfurt or IMEX America. I see a lot of that happening. And she was grateful, just like a big thank you for teaching me to approach the client from the client perspective. And that shift from us to you mentality works wonders on the whole sales process. It just shed a light on how she could do her work a little bit different. Okay. And that's a mindset I think that we can adapt, right? Mindset is always a choice, and you can choose how you're going to do something different. And this is a fabulous lady called Dawn, right? And so a lot of you ask questions, what can you do at the show, right? Well, this is what Dawn decided to do different. She works for a venue that is on a race course. So it's a very, that horse race, best dressed lady association. So she decided to dress like she was going to the races. I can't tell you how many people she had coming up who didn't have appointments and just say, I'd love to talk to you. Where are you from? Tell me all about it, right? They were interested because she stood out. So then Dawn did this, I think, in 2018. And then she was wondering, how could she beat it in 2019? What could she do? Well, this is what she did. She dressed as a jockey. Isn't that fabulous? I just loved that, the ingenuity, and to say that, like, she got so much attention. She got PR, she got this, and she got that. Okay, so more tips at the show, folks. Attend the education sessions. There will be lots of fabulous sessions on the show floor. I'll be there myself, and of course, Smart Monday is on the Monday, so if you can fly in that little bit early. Stand outside your stand if you don't have an appointment. Don't be on your phone or stuck in a laptop or whatever. Make sure that you're open, that somebody can walking past can see, okay, this person looks like they want to have a conversation, right? And limit the phone activity. Obviously, you want to keep in touch, but walk away, perhaps bring it to the bathroom, with you. Don't be on the phone too much, because honestly, there will be people walking past, and you want to make sure that you are open to having those conversations, to getting those opportunities. Okay, so how is this going for you folks? Are you doing okay? Yeah. Okay, we are on the home stretch, right? Thumbs up there if this is working for you. And I like to have a big exaggerated name. Like I know the regular name tags that you get, the lanyard is hanging maybe around your breast area or further down at your belly, and you really don't want people staring in that area trying to figure out what your name is, right? Maybe they did meet you last year and you're out at the bar, or you're at an event, and they're trying to see, oh, what's her name, what's his name, I can't remember, I know I met him. And you got to make it easy, right? So if you have a big name and you hold it up here, right, I always get my lanyard and I bring an extra pin and I put it up here, so that immediately when you're shaking hands with somebody, they can see your name. And people are meeting so many people, they might forget your name after a minute, and they don't want to have to be looking down like this. So again, just make it easy, put it up here as much as possible. Okay. So conversations create cash, right? Conversations create connection, conversations create community. And when you walk in that door of IMEX, like it's a cacophony of sound. Like, it's just, wow. It's like meetings on steroids, right, Kelly? It's wow, what am I entering here? You can feel the energy, you can feel the buzz, there's so much business been passed around, and it's fabulous. It really is wonderful. But mind your energy at the show. Drink plenty of water. Take a few breaks. Give yourself plenty of time, women in particular, to go to the bathroom, because there can be lines, there can be queues for sure. And you don't want to get caught out. So anybody else, if you have some practical tips there, put them in. You don't have to wear high heels anymore. You can wear flats. You can get away with some really funky sneakers, runners, shoes, whatever that might be. I worked with some Japanese clients, and they wore their kimono, right? So they were the only Japanese people on the Japanese stand wearing a kimono. They immediately stood out. People want to feel connected with your destination. What can you bring from your destination that's going to help them feel like they're there, right? You will find that you may get leads. There's definitely event planners going there with leads. They've business, and they might want to get a proposal back from you in the next few days. So have your team, have somebody at home that you can that will be able to help you out in that regard. There's also going to be planners there who are doing their research. They are looking for what's new. They're checking out options and ideas that they can bring to their clients, you know, in particular the independent planners and the agencies. The corporates are looking for ideas that they can bring home to their in-house team, and education and how they can educate the rest of their team who didn't get to come to the show. So so I feel that's an important part of it. If you don't walk away with a load of leads, know that there are planners there who want to, if they get a lead and it's for your destination, they want to have said, okay, I've already met Dalila. I know her. I got a good vibe. I can trust her. I'm going to call her up. I'm going to send this to her. Okay. It's important in that regard also. And of course, how you conduct your follow-up is going to be so important in terms of doing something a little bit different. Okay. So folks, any questions? One question I know we didn't get to is, can you go ahead and set up appointments for dinner? Yes, absolutely. And Kelly, you were saying that a good place to put them, if you're having like a stand, a party at your trade show stand, put that in one of the sections in the about section on the profile, right?
Yeah, once that's live from the 11th of September, once your schedule goes live, you can start booking that time in to do any sort of on-stand events. Any outside of show events like dinners as well.
Yeah. And absolutely, the restaurants will be really full, you know, so if you need to make your reservations, go ahead and book them. There's a lot of parties already booked in. A lot of the big hotels and agencies have nights booked right way in advance, probably booked from last year. If there's a party you want me to go to, let me know for sure. I'll be happy to show up. And if anybody of you would like to meet with me, please put it in, you know, connect with me. You should have my email, write me a DM there, whatever. I'd be open and would love to have a conversation with you. Okay. So I end all of my workshops with what are you going to do different as a result of the last 52 minutes of your life, right? What is standing out at you? What are you going to walk away and implement or do different? Okay, because if it's not going to be, if you're not going to do anything different, then you know we've wasted all this time together. Okay. So Niamh, when can we start booking appointments? Is that from the 11th to? Yes, that is from the 11th, isn't it, Kelly?
It's not. We give you access to your schedule slightly ahead. So the 11th, you'll start to see your own schedules go live. That's so you can be there blocking some time out if you want to give yourself a breather for lunch or whatever it is. Buyers will start booking from the 18th. So you get a week to play with your own.
Yeah. There's an important question there actually that did come up a few times about giveaways and, you know, gimmicks and that kind of stuff. What is working, folks? And I'll leave it up to you. What is working for me? You have to think about what can go in a suitcase, what isn't going to be too heavy, what can be brought home quickly enough. Maybe goes in a desk area, but something that will remind them of your destination, of the experience with you, pretty quickly. And actually my boys are here now. They're waiting for me to bring them to football practice, but they're doing home economics in school. They just started secondary school and they told me this morning they needed an apron. So I have 4 aprons that I got from IMEX at an MPI conference. Oh, I think it's about 3 or 4 years ago. And I have them at different places around the house. So I every day I wear my IMEX apron. I think of IMEX, and they're going to be doing that now in school. So I don't know. Share with me, folks. What do you think is a good giveaway? Okay. So what are we doing in terms of outcomes? So people, you're going to make your profile more personable, keep information scannable and concise. Fabulous. Chana is going to use today's tips to create a good profile. Angie is going to add that I'm exhibiting in the stand of Destination Colorado. Okay, fabulous. Okay, so a few people are going to rethink the e-blast. And the e-blast, that can happen from next Monday, is it, Kelly?
It's the 18th of
No,
September.
that's the 18th. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
is
they get
one-to-one
access
messaging
on
now.
Monday. Yeah, okay. So Kelly, could you put that link in the chat box there to if they want to work with me and help if they want me to help them with their profile and how to stand out and their marketing emails and that kind of stuff. Okay, it's a course that's starting the end of September. And also, Kelly, you have a link to put in there for the checklist of dates. And there's other webinars, folks, that the team from IMEX, not myself, are going to be running on going into a lot more detail on the profile and setting up your profile. I think one of them is tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we've got them every week from now up until the show.
Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah, so she's going to put that in there. So Karis, you're working on your marketing emails, so very much thinking value creation. Why do they want to speak to us? Fabulous. And you're doing mighty in your LinkedIn stuff as well. Marina, rephrase my personal and company profiles and make them more approachable. Mighty. So Neve, punchier and more bullet pointed profile. Mighty. Fabulous, folks. Well, I hope today was of value to you. I love doing this every year, but I want to make sure that I'm bringing value to you. And I have it recorded, so I will send that out to you, so you will have access to that. Any last minute questions people want to ask? No? Okay, so the biggest question I was been asked is about getting more appointments, more of the right fit appointments. So number one, start on your profile. Number two, look at the wording that you're using to invite them to have a conversation with you. And number three, I think it's important that you don't just rely on the IMEX database, that you are doing your own research also, right? That you are looking at your lost business profile and you're asking them, are they attending IMEX? That you're looking at, the competitor analysis, all those other reports that you might have, and checking, are they attending IMEX? That you're putting it out there on LinkedIn that you're attending IMEX, and you might get some appointments that way. So, it's important to brand yourself and to look at your personal branding within how you conduct yourself and how you represent your business at IMEX. And these are all fabulous opportunities for you to do that. So Regina, one more question. How much collateral do you recommend adding to the profile? Do the PDF attachments overwhelm or help clients? I definitely wouldn't go that you have so many that they're overwhelming people. But maybe in your about section, you're referring to 1, 2, or 3 of them, and you're adding them in there. But again, the idea is that they want more information, that they can have that conversation with you. And to be clear, like, I'm not saying don't show your pitch deck. It's important that they walk away with a sense of, your product, but not to have the whole 20 minutes of just showing them endless photos, because Las Vegas in itself is overwhelming. It's so much information. It's so visual. There's constant marketing messages. There's constant stuff flashing at you. You go into your hotel lobby and there's the bing, bing, bing of the casinos. And so what you want to do is really to stand out in a lot of that noise, right? And that's where making that connection, that's where being able to figure out what's an interesting conversation to have with somebody, that skill is going to be so important to you. Okay, so folks, email me if you've any other questions, and I'll send you the recording. But most of all, thank you so much for spending the last hour with me. It's been a pleasure. And Kelly and whoever else, we will see you at IMEX. Okay, thanks a million, folks. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.